Welcome back to my channel. For all of you who are studying for the MBCOT exam, go ahead and skip this video. This video is intended for everyone who has passed the MBCOT exam recently, and I wanted to kind of share what to do during this limbo transitional period because I wish I had thought about all of this in advance and I didn't. So I wanted to inform you guys on everything that I wish that I did while I was looking for a job, especially because that time frame can vary depending on where you are and what kind of job you're looking for. So here is a video that will hopefully help you guys while you guys are waiting on that first perfect job. Before I get started, I want to say congratulations for passing your MBCOT exam. It is so exciting to just finally open that letter or email and see that you passed. I know how stressful that was, but you're here and you did it, so congratulations. So I broke this down into three categories and I'm just going to talk about it really casually. While you guys are on the job hunt, I'm not going to go into too much depth about this part. I have other videos about the job hunting process if you want to go in depth with that. But while you're waiting, go ahead and start to develop templates for cover letters and resumes, especially if you are planning on applying to various settings of OT. I remember when I started the job hunt, I was interested in both adult rehab and pediatric settings. So I was applying all over the place, and those templates for my cover letters and resumes had to be updated constantly. Of course, when you're starting out as a new grad applying for jobs, your resume is going to look about the same, but your cover letter is going to really change. So go ahead and start developing a template that you can reuse and have one that's geared towards adult rehab, pediatrics, mental health, whatever you're invested in and interested in. That will speed up the application process a lot. As for your resume, the only thing that you might have to tweak is maybe the emphasis that you want to put in. So, if you're applying for a pediatric job, maybe you want to emphasize more on your pediatric fieldwork immersions and focus less on the others, and vice versa if you're applying for a different setting. And some people like to include a little mission statement, so that might also change depending on where you're applying. This is a recommendation that will vary depending on what setting you want to go into. But for me, down the line, I ended up making a Google Voice number, or you can use another app. There are plenty that are free that give you a free phone number with a local area code. And this will allow you to really separate your personal life from your work life. And I ended up doing this down the line, especially because I work in home health and in a clinic setting. So I talk to and text all of the families that I work with through my phone. It's not in an office. So I ended up making a work number to just keep everything separate and to keep it more organized. I don't have to scroll through my personal contacts to find certain text conversations, and it just makes it a lot easier for me to keep track of. And I can also have a separate voicemail that is professional as well. So I highly recommend that if that's something that you think moving down the line is going to impact your personal and work separation, as well as your organization for your work calls. This also applies for email. I highly recommend that you all have a professional email, one that you strictly use for work moving forward. I already had a professional email that I was using throughout graduate school, but it was different because when you have your work email, that is again the separation where you're no longer getting emails from, let's say, colleagues or professors or subscription emails. It's only for work, and you can change everything to be up to date for your signature and just keep it nice and clean as a new start. So that's what I recommend while you're on your job hunt. And in terms of productivity, this is something that I really, really wish that I had really thought through, because during this time, you might have a month, you might have several months off. It really depends on your circumstances and your pace and what's going on with the job market. I had friends who took it really easy and spent a long period of time looking for jobs because they had other things. A lot of people were getting married or moving, and there's just different factors. So I also was moving and had to kind of pause the start of studying, and then the holidays hit, so I waited through that before I started the job hunt as well. So you might have some more downtime than other people, or you never know, you might find a job really quickly. But regardless of the situation, I want you guys to be aware of this. If you have a lot of freedom, then I would start to volunteer or shadow an OT and start looking into settings that are willing to take you in just for observation, perhaps, so that you can start to get a head start in learning about different settings and even learn about insurance or how things run in a different setting. I think that would be really, really beneficial. And it also might help you connect and network to other job openings and speed up the job hunt process. So I highly recommend that. Don't be afraid to email people. Go ahead and look up clinics and hospitals. And if there are profiles of OTs, go ahead and email them. I feel like the OT community is very supportive, and a lot of people will probably be able to accommodate hours for you to observe or volunteer at their setting. If you're interested in pediatrics, I think daycares are also really good to look into because there are many that are focused on supporting children with special needs. So you might be able to get some volunteer hours or, again, just some observation time. This is the biggest thing I want to share with you guys. Start accruing your CEUs. So, depending on the state that you live in, the amount and the type that you need are going to vary. But generally speaking, all of us have to have a certain amount of CEUs every 2 years before we have to renew our license. And so, this is the perfect time for you to be accruing them because once you start working, it gets very busy and it gets very hard to set aside time to do CEUs. And since you are already licensed at this point, then you can go ahead and use your student AOTA if your subscription hasn't ended, or if you renew, that's great too. Your first year in AOTA is discounted as a new OT. So they always have, I believe, like 10 or so free CEU classes. So go ahead and look through what's available. There are some websites that offer some free ones. I'll link some resources below that I've had some good luck with. And you can start to accrue those and it will go towards your next license renewal, and you'll feel a lot more productive if you're able to get a few of these in. A lot of them are online, like 1 hour classes, and you get one CEU. And you should start making an Excel spreadsheet or some kind of system to keep track of what day you took these classes, the name of it, and have a little file or folder on your desktop to save all the certificates of the classes that you took. This will really give you a head start in organizing everything that you'll need when license renewal times come around. And keep in mind that the renewal window, I think for everyone, it ends at like in March. So it's right before like tax season. So this year I had to renew my license and do taxes, and it's like all back to back. So it really helps to organize all of this in advance. Also, some states require live CEU classes, and you can schedule those, and you can also knock those out, and they won't get in the way of your work schedule down the line once you start working. And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, wait, I need to take these live CEU classes, and they only take place on Tuesdays or Thursdays. I'm going to have to leave work early or figure something out. So it gets really complicated when all that happens. So definitely start looking into this if you can. Last but not least, this applies to some of you, it might not. I just wanted to include it just in case. I know that a lot of people are still having to pay for things during this window. Obviously, the bills do not stop while we are studying. So, for temporary jobs, my best recommendation is to find something that's very flexible and low in commitment. What most of my colleagues did was maybe like a part time job at like Panera, but something that's low in training, but just cashier work perhaps. And also things like babysitting, nannying, dog walking, or sitting if you're interested in animals. I recommend Rover. I have a friend who does that, and it's great if you like dogs or if you even already have a dog, and you can make some flexible money while you are waiting for a job. And these are very low commitment. You can continue to do these things after you have the job too. So I like that. I didn't include tutoring, but if that's something that you're interested in, that's also a great way to make some extra money while you're waiting. I also am going to upload a video about apps and programs that I use during grad school to save money, and that will be an additional piece to, I guess, saving money. They're not jobs, but they're just apps that help you save money, and they're great and they're not scams. So I will share that in another video as well. I hope this is helpful for you guys, and I hope that you guys are doing well. I know that it is a very nerve-wracking period when you're looking for jobs, but it is so exciting. So please take your time to really find a job that speaks to you and that you feel that you will be able to grow in, where the people that you speak with are just as supportive and passionate as you are about the job that you're looking for. You deserve to be in a place where you are accepted and where you can grow. So please keep that in mind while you are on the job hunt, and don't rush it for the sake of just trying to get a job. Good luck with your search, and let me know if you have any questions in the comment box below. Take care.